And welcome back, clanmates and rookery brothers, to another edition of Jalapeña, a Gargoyles Garcast. I'm your host, Jason Roy Gaston. With me, as always, VHS Jace, ready to continue our foray into things that go rawr in the night. Back again with a season 2 episode, this one called Leg Ion.
Leg Ion.
Leg Ion. I don't get it. No,
I would just state off the bat, I think this is probably, for me, the best episode I've seen so far.
Really?
I really dug this episode.
It's a good episode. And one thing I really like about Gargoyles is that these characters like Coldstone and Talon, they know when to use them, and they use them sparingly. Like, I think Coldstone shows up in the show maybe 4 times in the entire run, and every time he shows up, it's an event.
It makes an impact, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It does. There's always consequences to it. And man, this episode gets dark. This episode
it does
dark at the end. But let's continue here. We start with Coldstone down there on the bottom of the ocean, because if you remember, he dove into the ocean and kind of drowned. No, he got shot and then he drowned. And so he's just down there, and then all of a sudden he comes back online sporadically. He self corrects, he self repairs.
And a diagnostic, he rebooted.
Yes, he runs a level 4 diagnostic, reboots, and then bursts out of the water, and he's all like, but before he does, we see,
where's my coffee? Never gets it. That's the problem. He never gets his coffee.
Yes. Looks like he's pooping molten diarrhea right there, though. So strange.
He looks like that I would just walk in the other direction. That's what he looks like. Scary.
That's basically me in the morning right there. Mm-hmm. My alarm gets up and I'm just like, who dares?
Yeah.
Before he does that, though, we do see some strange flashes. First of all, we see a very organic looking Coldstone with a female gargoyle who calls him my love. And then we see him with who I can only assume is Ron Perlman. Yeah, he's just he's almost like Judas, just saying, "Oh, she betrays you," and then it's a little overdone. I will say that it's just a smidge overdone.
But it's okay because it represents the two sides that he's conflicted with, and it works from that.
Very much so. Coldstone then, for absolutely no reason, breaks into a computer lab and starts downloading stuff. Mm-hmm. Which is pretty cool. And as soon as he's done with that, he snaps out of it, and he's Coldstone again. He doesn't know where he is. He doesn't know why people are shooting at him. It's just this.
It's all this stuff that I love. All this stuff with him that I absolutely think is great in this.
Exactly. It was a lot of fun. I love Michael Dorn as Coldstone.
He's got some moments to try to pull off too, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Like switching personalities, in the scene and stuff.
He's just like, Spider's not the only one who can do this. Watch me.
Yeah.
Now I'm a girl. Now I'm a boy. Now I'm a girl again. Pardon me. I'm giving away the plot ahead of time. You remember Matt Bluestone, right? We kind of forgot that he exists, but Matt Bluestone is back, and he's taking a VR drone into this computer place to confront
his Nintendo unit from 95.
Yes, he's got a virtual boy. I have a virtual boy. It's horrible. You play it for 5 minutes and then it feels like you got ice picks in your eyeballs and they never took the ice pick out. But he's driving this little robot right here. See the logo? The logo's important.
Okay. No, I hadn't noticed, but I should be paying attention.
Keep your eye on the scarab. It will be coming back one day.
Okay.
And he drives it into there. It's the state-of-the-art police equipment. They've made a big fuss about it, and Coldstone kills it just instantly, just like shoots it right out the wall. He doesn't even aim for the window. It goes right out the wall. And then Coldstone takes off out of the hole and just flies off into the night, but not before being spotted by Lexington and Goliath, who intercept him. I'm sorry, what?
Oh, no, that's what they were saying. What?
Yeah, hey, isn't that dude who's dead? Looks like he's doing pretty good for a dead dude. But I really like the fact that you thought it was going to turn into a fight, and then it's just basically they tackled him, and Coldstone's like, wait a second, you're my friends. I'm not going to fight you.
Yeah.
And it's just that friendship that they have with each other, this kinship that they have with each other. And I enjoyed that very short scene. And then Goliath is just instantly like, let's take you back to our place, even though you tried to kill us a few times and you don't turn to stone during the night. But we trust you enough to come home with us because we think it'll be safe.
He's a good guy, man. Goliath is just a man of the people.
He's very naive. I just look at that through my shield of cynicism going,
yeah.
You sure you want to do that? But they get home, and we have this very sweet scene where Coldstone reunites with Hudson, calls him his mentor, which is what Goliath calls him down the road. Actually, have we already had a flashback scene with Goliath and Hudson yet?
I don't think so. I think that's
Later on, we see flashbacks where Goliath refers to Hudson as mentor as well, which is really cool. And then just whenever it seems like everything's going to be fine, we're going to have a new member of the clan. All of a sudden, Coldstone starts going a little crazy.
Yeah,
he starts exhibiting a little multiple personality disorder, where
he's being tortured essentially.
Pretty much, and he takes off. I'm not proud of this caption, by the way. I'm just saying. Anyway, I'm just kidding. I am proud of that. Coldstone takes off into the night, and they give chase. And that is when Coldstone, once again, does the multiple personality thing and tries to kill them.
Rocket launch is getting some usage.
Yes. I wonder how that feels. Like, is it like whenever your back cracks when that thing comes out? I don't know. Just to me, that'd be a weird sensation.
Maintenance would be horrible. They're hydraulic.
Oh yeah. If that thing squeaks, it would drive me crazy. Just, I'm gonna kill you. Oh my
wear
God.
out after a while.
Yeah. Give me some WD-40. You never see that. You never see like Coldstone putting WD-40 on himself.
Yeah.
I think it'd be like, putting on deodorant at the end of the day.
That's better. Much better.
But yeah, we get another scene where Michael Dorn is just basically bringing it, and he's switching back and forth between all these different personalities. And there's a short fight, and then basically Coldstone screams and falls down because he's shut down because he's overwhelmed.
Yeah, like he's basically brain is broken.
Yeah, and so Lexington, of course, responds by coming over and plugging stuff into him, and is like, "Hey, we can use this VR thing that I stole from the police.
This MetaQuest, and I'm sure it'll be fine."
Yeah, they stole that from the police, by the way. They straight up stole it, and it's fine because they're the good guys.
Yeah, and the cops are not that bothered by it. Really. One is, but
But Matt is not happy about this, and he notices that it's gone, and he's like, "Oh, it's got a tracker. Let's go find them." So now we got a ticking clock, which is always handy to have.
Yeah, but you know what? Forget that guy, all right? Because he only wants fame. This whole thing about him is just he doesn't care about the VR headset going missing. He just wants his piece of flesh from the gargoyles so he can get famous.
Everybody who has seen this show is listening to what you say, and they're laughing at you right now.
Okay. I am just reacting to what I'm being presented to at this point on the screen.
Yeah. So anyway, not Fox Mulder there is going to come.
I don't like it.
Not Fox Mulder is coming after the gargoyles, basically, without even knowing what the gargoyles are at this point. Anyway, Lexington is the most capable person of going into the virtual world and saving Coldstone. So naturally, of course, Goliath is all like, "I'm going to go instead, and you can't do anything about it." So he plugs himself up with the MetaQuest, and we
get Lawnmower Man.
Yeah, it looks like Lawnmower Man right there. Lawnmower Gargoyle. He's going to go in, and he's going to go save Coldstone from the grid from Tron.
And I love that they give you a great representation of what they used to tell us VR would be like in the mid-90s. Not that if you ever wore those versions of VR, which I did in the mid-90s, I got a few times to play with them. Nope. Never looked like that, ever.
No, it was like the little red lines, and, it's just...
Yeah,
why are my eyes bleeding?
And high definition?
No. It's much better today than it used to be.
Today it is.
Much better. In my day, virtual reality made your eyeballs explode.
Now they just dry them out, actually. It dries your eyeballs out.
It really does. I really enjoyed the way that they depicted the virus. Just these tentacles coming out of this whirlpool, just pulling pieces of the world down into it. I thought that was just cool. That was a cool vision.
It represents what's happening, but you still don't know what the source of it is, do you?
Yeah.
So that's great. It works really well. It's a really great device to deal with that problem, for them to go inside the Matrix. And,
So anyway, this seems pretty straightforward. All Goliath has to go do is go rescue Coldstone. And as long as some rich douchebag with nothing more to do than to make the gargoyle's life miserable shows up, everything should be fine. Oh, no. It's Xanatos.
He's got the biggest ego ever. He has to insert his likeness into everything.
I know. It's just, could you imagine him in that meeting going to go see his programs going, I want a program that's going to keep people from messing with this CPU in Coldstone. Okay, great. And I want it to have my face. Mr. Xanatos, you know that's going to take like at least another month of development. I want it to have my face. Okay, all right.
Photorealistic.
Photorealistic
Valley stuff.
And I want the artificial intelligence to completely mirror my brain. Sir, we're going to have to invent a whole new realm of computing for that. Get it done. Have $1 trillion. Get it done. Oh my gosh, he wrote me a check and it's got an infinity symbol on it. Look at that.
Well, he gets what he wants, though, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. And of course, it's always great to see Xanatos because he's so fun. He's so fun. He's, as I said before, Xanatos, neither evil nor good. He is a true neutral. And I think that's what makes him so fascinating and so much fun to watch. Because you just never know you never know what direction he's going to go. He's either going to save everyone or he's going to screw everyone. It just depends on what suits him at the moment. And I love that.
And he's smart enough that knows that most people underestimate him.
Yes.
And he uses that to his advantage because he has always got a backup.
Yes.
There's always a backup of a backup of a backup of a backup.
In this case, he literally is a backup.
Yeah. This whole scene exists, and his whole exists in case this happened.
He's got more contingency plans than Batman. I'm just gonna say.
Yeah. Like it's next level. Fantastic beard of his.
So Goliath is met by a female gargoyle who he recognizes, and he calls his sister. And he hugs her.
She looks great with her her thorns.
Yeah. Don't go there. I know it's too late. But she tells him Coldstone was not made out of one gargoyle. He was made out of the pieces of several gargoyles, and now their souls are all trapped inside of him, which is why this episode was called Leg Ion.
Yeah, Leg Ion.
Because we are Leg Ion. We are many. I'm just waiting.
I love that. That was one thing that won me over too. It's like, oh wow, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, that was Yeah, and so all of these different gargoyles that we've been seeing, the female and the Ron Perlman, are basically pieces of gargoyles that make up the Coldstone body. And so all of these souls are basically in his head fighting for dominance. And this is the strangest thing. The Ron Perlman gargoyle, we never find out what his deal is. We never get his backstory. He's just bad. That's it. I was always hoping we'd get a backstory for him, and we don't.
We don't.
I guess he just wanted her, and I don't think she's ever given she is given a name later, but right now she doesn't have a name, and neither does he. So, but they do get names later.
Well, they really just function as the angel and devil on the shoulder.
Pretty much. The angel, devil, and David Xanatos is the douche.
Yeah, just to come in, to be that,
Yeah, I love the way that they drew Coldstone, like he's like seriously thinking about it. He's got the finger up to his chin, and he's like, should I be evil today or should I be good? So hard to come up with that. He decides to be bad, and he gets into a fight with Goliath and knocks him into the whirlpool, and the tentacles start pulling him down into his demise. It's too bad, though, that his friends are all currently busy because Matt is bringing the entire SWAT team out to arrest the gargoyles or shoot them or beat them with something.
Whatever he thinks they are.
Maybe all three. I don't know. The female gargoyle comes to Goliath's aid, and Coldstone is like, I always knew you wanted him. You wanted him over me, and that's my only motivation is that I like girls and girls don't like me, which is kind of cringy. And then she does win him over with perhaps the most cliche thing ever. If you don't believe me, believe your heart. I did eye roll there a little bit.
Yeah.
But, it's a show aimed at young kids. And they were
you're going to have those moments in these shows, but I think the overall fact that they're dealing with this is a mental health episode.
It really is, and it's an episode where, quite frankly, a lot of things happen. Like I pared down the number of screenshots that I had because I ended up having like 50 because so much stuff happens in this scant 22-minute episode. And it's just one thing after another, after another, after another, after another. And looking at it, you would think, wow, the pacing on this episode must be terrible. It's not. It's well paced and it's exciting. And it just seems like it hits you with a lot, but it's not overwhelming. So, of course, we've got to have the gargoyle program fuse with Clue here and become a super gargoyle with
Wonder Twins powers activate. Yeah.
Wonder Twin powers act. We are the crystal gems. We always save the day. And if you think we can't, well, that's just free. Anyway. It kind of creeps me out a little bit whenever he picks her up and he says, I want you to be my mate, sister. Like, don't call her that.
Yeah.
Don't call her that.
There's some real,
don't call her sister. This is New York City. It's not Arkansas. Let's not go there. However, the female gargoyle, I hate calling her the female gargoyle. I know that she has a name, but I don't know what else to call her right now. Bites his freaking hand, and he gets captured by the hentai tentacles who carry him down to be digested, I guess, in a world of pain and suffering over 1,000 years. It is kind of Sarlaccian, isn't it?
It is very Sarlaccian.
Yeah, even though I'll be perfectly honest. It looks like he's dead here, but he's not. He comes back somehow, and they never explain it. It's just basically, yes, that tentacle hentai portal did nothing to him. He's just here.
Actually, we got along. We had a few things in common. We went out for lunch, and it was all good in the end.
Yes. I had the steak. He ate a child. It's okay. We compromised. So with Coldstone saved and his mate with him, Coldstone says, you need to get out of here. The virus is consuming everything. Coldstone has basically accepted the fact he's not getting out. He's not going to survive.
He's ready.
And so he tells his brother, get out of here.
I love that moment. He's going full tilt. Goliath is like, I don't think he'd go any faster if he tried. I
love it whenever they run on all fours. Because you would think it would look stupid, but it's actually so incredibly awesome. Because whenever they run on all fours, you know stuff is up. Stuff is up, and the situation is dire. Anyway, spoiler alert: Goliath makes it out, and Matt shows up, and they're all gone. The VR headset's left there. He's like, well, at least we got it back. He looks so much like Fox Mulder. He's Fox Mulder with Dana Scully's hair. That's what he is. And it's so funny because later on the show just admits, he's Fox Mulder. We're Fox Mulder. So we find out, of course, that the whole thing has been engineered by Xanatos. It was all a scheme to steal information from his rivals.
That's a great VR reference, Gorilla Tag.
Yeah.
I don't know where you got that reference from because I played the game. It's fun.
I teach fifth graders. There's some that's all they ever talk about is just, have you
Gorilla
ever played
Tag.
Gorilla Tag? No, but I know all about it. Let me explain this. Let me explain it to you. I already know about it. Well, you play a gorilla and you just got arms and then you try to get. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm really trying to
It is
teach you
pretty
things
fun.
for the
It is
standardized test. Can
pretty
you please sit down now? You played
Yeah, that kid
Minecraft? Oh
got a
my
better
gosh,
play.
stop it. But yeah, Xanatos is he used Coldstone to steal information from a rival's computer system and then downloaded it through the Dalek that Matt Bluestone was piloting, and now he's got it in his hands. I honestly don't know how he did this. Was he just waiting for Coldstone to reboot this entire time, and was he sitting there drinking a Diet Coke at his desk, and then Coldstone back online? Okay, we can do my plan now.
Yeah, there are some gaps in how did that happen or convenience. But nevertheless, do we expect anything less than Xanatos the Fresh Maker? He is playing 4D chess when everyone else is playing checkers.
Yeah, pretty much. And I just accept it because he's awesome. Goliath takes Coldstone back to the clock tower and just kind of puts him in a corner, like a weird Halloween decoration, like that moving Halloween decoration that you put on your porch every year. And
in
he's
a
just
few
like,
months he'll be half deflated,
Yeah, pretty much. And he just said, I hope one day you will come back, and when you do, we will be unprotected in this clock tower with you, who doesn't turn into stone and who's tried to kill us several times. But I think it'll work out fine this way.
When he comes back and he goes, how dare you call this a castle? It's like, yeah, you're pretty right, it is. Why do you call it a castle? Because it ain't a castle.
Yeah. And then we end with what I think is I think they wanted it to be this hopeful portrait, but to me, it's dark as hell. This like bothered me after I saw it. But it's Coldstone and his mate gliding through the air with the hentai tentacles trying to grab them. And I'm watching this thinking, they're screwed.
Oh,
there's no way.
They're Thelma and Louising this. They're going all in, and they're not making it out. I thought that was pretty dark too.
That was super dark. And honestly, if this had been the last time we saw Coldstone, I'd be like, that was ballsy to end it that way. Of course, this is not the last time we see Coldstone. Coldstone does show up again.
You don't get Michael Dorn for 22 minutes. You get him for a lot longer.
Exactly. And you messaged me and said, it's Michael Dorn. It's like, there's so many Star Trek actors on this show.
Yeah, I call it Gargoyles, the next generation.
You hear more. There are so many Trek actors who show up, and it's from all the classic shows. Enterprise hadn't come out yet, but we get original series cast members. We get Next Generation. We get Deep Space Nine, and we get one or two from Voyager who show up.
Wow, there you go.
And every time they do, it's a treat because you hear the voice and you're like, who is that? Who is that? Who is that? Oh, I know who that is. But yeah, that's totally. That is Leg Ion, and
that is a good one.
It is a fantastic episode. I enjoy it. I don't know if it's my favorite, but we have one of my favorites coming up.
Oh no! So far, what I've seen, maybe it was just the mood I was in. I was just like, "Damn, I'm really having a lot of fun with this."
No, you know what? It's
probably
a great episode
for liking torture.
It is a great episode. And next week we get the return of a fan favorite villain. Not next week, next time. We get the return of a fan favorite villain. Macbeth is coming up with a really good. Oh yeah, he's coming back up with a episode called "A Lighthouse in the Sea of Time."
Ooh, I predict conflict.
Oh yes. But it's a very quiet episode actually, and features a very high profile guest star. Not counting John Rhys Davies, who's fantastic as Macbeth, but we get another fantastic guest star. And I'm sure you will recognize this person's voice the second you hear them. And then I know this is jumping ahead because this show is like once every 4 weeks now. After that, my favorite episode of Gargoyles is coming up called The Mirror. And we get introduced to one of my favorite villains who becomes recurring after that. Wow. And I can't wait to show that one to you because I think you'll really enjoy it.
Do you know if we're getting any closer for me discovering what the hell the show means?
I honestly don't remember which episode it's in, but
No,
I do know.
It's stunning to me. We're getting into the meat of season 2. And I don't know why you called the show Jalapeña.
It is coming up soon. Let me see. Let me see if I can give you a more definitive.
It's kind of fun. Half of me hopes I don't know until the final episode.
No, you will know before then. I promise. Okay. It comes up in an episode called Protection.
Okay.
And that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Wait a second. Wow, that is episode 19. I could have sworn it was.
So based on that math and our current release schedule, June of 2026 is when I'll find out.
Unless we do the show more often, which
we may
whenever
do.
I say whenever we get to the end of Korra, we do this one weekly.
Yeah, absolutely.
We do that in place of
like you said. I haven't been instantly in love with this show as I was with the other animated shows that we've taken. This one's having to earn my respect, and I will say this current episode went a long way to getting me to really kind of dig what the show's about.
Yeah, there are some great episodes coming. There is an arc coming where they basically said, hey, let's do the Odyssey, where we separate the cast and send some of them on a huge adventure.
Oh, okay. I'm down for that.
I will say I do think that they stretched that out a little bit too long because it's almost like half the season. But man, it starts strong and it ends strong. And what you get in the middle, hit or miss, but mostly hits. That you basically open up the whole world at one point. And I just enjoyed that so much. I enjoyed
that's cool.
But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Lots to look forward to, Jace.
Lots to look forward to. I know you are seeing this for the first time, but I'm enjoying just revisiting this world.
I think we both get something out of this transaction. It's like our other great show, Breaking Wind, which you should be going to check out as well.
Most of my relationships.
The idea of you getting to revisit something that you've been meaning to, but maybe didn't have a reason. You now have a reason. And to show someone who's never seen something. And then I get the joy of being able to discover these things in the way it's meant to be. And that's not by watching 12 episodes at once. I stand by the correct way to do this is not to binge watch it. It's to soak in everything.
There is something to be said for savoring, and I am enjoying savoring it.
Yeah, so I think so. I think it works really well. It's something to look forward to, and these guys don't make the show to be binge watched. They make it episodic to watch one episode at a time. What was the release? Was this after school every day? Was this season?
They did daily episodes, but they would do them like in 2-week spurts. So they'd do 2 weeks of new episodes, and then they'd have like 4 or 5 weeks of reruns. Then they'd have 2 weeks of new episodes.
How annoying is that?
It was super annoying, and plus you never knew when it was going to air.
Yeah,
never.
So like you're thinking, okay, it's just a new episode. Like talking about throwing you off when you want to try to tell this one giant story. Like you said, there's a big arc coming up. How do you do that? You get some of the arc, and then you've got to watch first season episodes again, not in order. Like,
it's annoying. It's annoying.
Disney execs, you were evil even in the 90s.
Well, that's one thing about streaming is that, I know the temptation to just consume it all at once is there. I literally just did this with a show I discovered on Netflix called Wolf King. I watched every single episode and because I was just greedy, but I could have savored them. I could have enjoyed it.
Yeah, we did that with a show called The Pit recently.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, medical drama, which I'm not into. I don't like medical dramas, but this show is amazing because it's like 24 and ER mashed together. In fact, it's got that Noah Wiley in it. But I like it because it is the most goriest show I've ever seen and the most shocking show. And it's just showing, real stuff happens in emergency rooms. It's great.
Sounds interesting. I may have to give that a look. I haven't watched a medical drama since House went off the air.
Honestly, I loved House because it was all about him. But this thing it's amazing. It's got like 98% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's going to win a bunch of awards. It's the real deal.
I have to check that out.
Yeah, it's something to mention on a Gargoyles episode, I suppose.
We had a medical episode of Gargoyles where they had to remove a bullet. It's fine. And you know what? If you want to check something out, check out the video description below, because we have got a link to our Patreon where you can support us for as little as $5 a month, or you can become a YouTube channel member and support us that way. Either way, you get videos early, and we think you're going to like what we got coming up. Plus, you got to tune in to see when this guy learns what jalapeno means and how disappointed he's going to be, because he's been building it up in his head this whole time.
Yeah, because I do all the artwork and stuff and the thumbnails, so I see it all the time. I had to create. I had no essence. I'm like, do I add a Mexican hat to the logo or not? Do I who knows? You don't know what you're doing. So
nobody tell him. Nobody tell him.
No, please don't. All right.
All right. Until next time, clanmates.